How's it going, guys? RealRadman here, back at it again with another video, more NASCAR Heat Evolution footage. This is from the Dev Diary number 2, which includes a lot of gameplay. I don't feel like being a distraction in one of the upright corners. I'm not going to do a face cam for this video. I'm just going to pause it at certain points, explain some of the things that's going on, some of the things that I think is really good for this particular gameplay trailer that it is. So let's just get right into it. Here's the footage.
Rated E for everyone.
When we decided to get back and we kind of like worked out a plan, the first thing we did is we went and played all the old games. And the goal was to kind of get back into the sport and kind of like get a feeling for what we could do, what we're interested in doing with the product, and what was done before, and how to make a better experience. And so from our point of view, we were kind of like, we have to start over. I'm going to start from zero with nothing. And this is our chance to make something great.
And the hardest thing, and also the part that we're the most excited about, is the actual racing itself. Making sure that we deliver the authentic NASCAR experience, and then the players can really get into it and feel like, I'm racing for real at Daytona or Bristol. You really feel like you're in the middle of drafting, like there are guys right next to you, right in front of you, trying to find a way to go. You know, which line am I going to use?
Alright, let's stop it right here. So one thing I want to point out in those 4 shots that you saw, the one at Daytona, the one at Bristol, another one at Daytona, and this shot right here at Phoenix, we've all been complaining about this glare, this weird gloss over the game. And what I thought for many months, and I said a couple of times through other videos, even though I did agree that in the screenshots the glare was a little weird, but when you actually play the game in a third person, first person, whatever you play it in, the glare doesn't seem to be there. I don't know what it was about the screenshots that made it look that way, but I did say that I feel like once you play the game, the glare wouldn't really be a big deal, and that gloss look wouldn't be a big deal. And in those 4 shots right there where you saw legit gameplay from the perspective of us driving the game, you don't see that glare. It's a really good thing. I think the game, graphics-wise, from these shots, look really good. That's just my opinion.
We're really trying to make sure that when somebody plays the game, they feel like they're driving a heavy stock car. It's got a lot of horsepower, it's raw, it's heavy. When you watch a race, you see that they seem to be wiggling through the corners a lot. They're right on the edge.
Alright, again, let's stop it right there. I'm going to rewind some of the footage as well. So you see Troy Harder talking about wiggle. The cars like to wiggle because they're really heavy and stuff like that. What I think that really means is that in arcade mode, you can wiggle the car a little bit and you'll be fine. In arcade mode. In simulation mode, which I will be playing, I like the fact that they sound really determined as to making the car super heavy. What I mean by that is in the Utechnics games, the car never felt heavy. You could just drive it on 1.5 miles, almost full throttle, not completely full throttle, but the car never felt heavy to me. If they're talking about this wiggle where the cars are always on edge, what I would like to, what I would like to feel is if I'm at a Charlotte and my setup is based on being really loose in the back end, I would like to feel the car's weight on the right rear. Now, I don't know if that's what they're really talking about in terms of weight distribution as to how heavy the car is, but I'd like to feel in the game. You can trust me, this is possible. I played NASCAR 09 in many games. You can do it. You can feel where their handling in the car really is, whether it's leaning on the right rear too much or it's leaning on the right front too much. And the whole aspect of making the cars heavy and raw is a really important part of any NASCAR game. You don't want it to feel like an F1 car. You don't want it to feel like an Indy car. You don't want to feel like you are driving a car that only weighs 2,000 pounds. You want to feel a car that drives, or you want to feel a car that weighs 3,500 pounds. So that is a very important aspect of the game. Again, things that I like to hear. You can't really say it's for sure until you play the game yourself and you're able to get that feel. But again, things that I like to hear about the game just like that.
Particular challenge that we had, we want to make this game accessible for everyone. The young kid who's experiencing NASCAR for the first time can pick up the game and play it and have a good time. And we also want the experienced racer, someone who's done a lot of racing games, to also feel like they're doing an authentic NASCAR experience.
It's not just the driving aspect, it's how does the AI behave. They're not out there kind of like on rails. Each AI is thinking about who's around them, where on the track, can I make this pass now, can I come around? It's you racing against drivers who are trying to beat you as hard as you're trying to beat them.
If you get to be better, the AI will race you a little bit quicker, a little bit harder, and maybe push you a little bit more as you're going around the track.
As you get better and you learn the lines, you learn each track, you're going to get faster. And when you kind of cross to the threshold, we have two kind of like driving modes, normal mode and simulation mode.
If you're really looking for that on the edge of your seat feel, then you're going to want to switch over to simulation mode and kind of feel what a real NASCAR driver feels.
Everybody who's a fan of NASCAR will enjoy the game and immediately recognize that this is a NASCAR game made for NASCAR fans. And so we're going to give everybody what we think to be a great experience, from the inexperienced driver to the most experienced driver.
Check back for more developer diaries as we prepare for the September release of NASCAR Heat Evolution.
Alright, so that was the clip that they released, the Dev Diary number 2, called Gameplay. All the footage that you saw was from someone actually playing the game. That's what the HUD is going to look like. That's what the game is going to look like. Another key thing I'm going to add on to it, I said this earlier in the video, you don't see that little gloss and you don't see the glare that we saw in the screenshots. So that is a good thing that you don't see that in the actual gameplay. Another thing I'd like to point out, I'm going to rewind the footage here. Look at the miles per hour. So let's go to Indy, 165 coming off of turn 4. What that tells me is that either 1, which I hope is not true, the guy is slow, or 2, what I hope is true, you have to get off the throttle and let the car do its own thing in the middle of the corner and then use throttle control to drive it up off the corner. You can't just let off the gas for a second, get right back in the gas, full throttle, drive it right up off the corner at 180 miles per hour. You should never be allowed to do that. What you should be able to do is enter a corner at 200 miles per hour, drop it all the way down to 155, pick the throttle back up, half throttle, get it up to 160, 165 coming off of the corner, and drive it out of the corner with the throttle control. Hopefully, that's what it's like. If they are accurate about what the game feels like, where the cars are really heavy and they are on the edge all the time, then that's what it will drive like. It will drive like how it should, where you have to get off the throttle, get on the brakes, let the car coast, let the car bite, let it cut into the corner, then pick up the throttle, use your throttle control, not get in it, 100%, but use your throttle control to then drive the car up off the corner and then carry the straightaway speed. Sometimes that is really hard to replicate in a game without pissing a lot of people off, because people want to drive as fast as possible, but in a stock car you shouldn't be allowed to drive, full throttle around a track, or get off the throttle for half a second, get right back on it. At certain tracks you can that are repaved, but not anymore. Like, you shouldn't be able to do that. So hopefully that is something that, even though I'm looking really deep into it, that's something I hope that will happen when I play the game. So yeah, guys, that is the video. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of the gameplay. Like this video if you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.